And welcome to another episode of All Rell and Good on the Crawford Podcasting Network with my buddy, number 40 out of Riviera Beach, Florida, Richard Rellford. The dude could jump and dunk and do all those wonderful things, two-time Big Ten champion. We have a teammate of his, I call him the glass eater, Butch Wade. I mean, the guy devoured the glass. Butch, welcome to All Rell and Good. During our little pre-show here, you guys started bantering, and we were talking about, did Bo want you to go out for football? And Bo wanted you to go out as a defensive end, and you said, no, Bo, I'm sticking with basketball, right, Butch?
Yeah, he approached me a couple of times about coming out to be a D end, and I said, Bo, thanks, but no thanks,
I think he could have batted some balls down, though.
Please, man. Butch would have did a hell of a job out there.
Well, anyway, we're going to talk old days, which we love to do when we bring Rich's teammates and even we had Sean Higgins on here. It wasn't really your teammate, but he passed the baton to Sean, and he took that baton and won a national title with that putback against Illinois, which Sean likes to talk about, so Sean likes to talk about that in 1980-19. But two of my favorite team guys, and I'm not just saying that because in front of me, those 85 and 86 Big Ten champion teams, in particular, because, before Fried was struggling, he got to the NIT, you won an NIT championship over Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. That was cool.
Yes.
But let's go back. Before we go back to that, let's start about this current team. Now, I know, Butch, you're coaching high school basketball, correct? Mm-hmm. So you're probably too busy to watch this current Wolverines a lot, but let's get your take on where they stand. They're struggling, let's be real. And we'll go with you after that. But Butch, your initial reaction this season, are you a little bit surprised that they're struggling considering they got to the Elite Eight last year as Big Ten champs?
Yeah, that's true. I haven't had a chance to see as much as I'd like to of them because, again, their games are pretty much the same as our high school games down here. But I follow as much as I can. And that it could be contributed to a number of things. When you have success, the hardest thing to do is to duplicate that next year. Yeah. And then it could be a number of things. It could be, chemistry, the vibe, all sorts of things factoring. Rich can tell you, our junior year, we were grooving. I mean, we were on a roll.
Oh, man.
We won the Big Ten, and we ran into to a block wall, and we hit Villanova in the tournament. But other than that, we were rolling, and we had everybody coming back just about. It was we had a really good year, but it was a little bit tougher our senior year than it was our junior year, only because it seemed like we were gelling, we had chemistry, good vibe, and everything was coming together and was new and we're excited. And it's hard to put all those pieces back together that following year. People think it's easy to do. You got everything back as you may. Example, down here, we had the Bucks. We're all Bucks fans down here. I'm still a Lions fan. My heart's still with Michigan and the Lions. But
all right.
People are real disappointed that the Bucks didn't get back to the Super Bowl, and it's not what you think. Putting it back.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem was that freaking Michigan State team with Scott Skiles, the guy we all love to hate, which Rich is buddies with him for some freaking reason. I don't know why.
God, yeah,
but I mean, that dude, I hated that dude as a Michigan fan. I mean, but I swear to God, Rich, if you had played them 10 times, and don't take this as an insult, I think they would have beat you 10 times. They were just a bad matchup for you.
Well, we would have played them 10. We probably would have split 50-50. I'm gonna go that route.
You think that? Okay.
Yeah, I think we could have beat them.
Okay, we'll go.
We would
have
beat them. It's fine. We'd have beat them 5. They'd have beat us 5. Listen, it was a mismatch with Scott with Antoine and Gary. That was our biggest problem. Yeah. And Scott told you himself, Tom, that Gary and Antoine talked so much smack against him. He just was hyped to play them.
I know. I mean, the guy looked like a beer truck driver, and he hung 40 on you. I mean, and you had DJ come in there. I mean, Vernon. I mean, it's just like that. The payback game was frustrating because I was up at the game at Jenison when Skiles went off for that game, and then here comes the payback game, and you guys were Big Ten champions at 15-3. We're talking about the 85 and 86 season, and yet. And they still beat you by double digits. Yes.
They had a number. I think they had. You know what? I think after they beat us the first time, and I think we started rolling when we started rolling, we should have taken. I think Antoine and Gary should have pushed it a little bit more with those guys, because I'm telling you, man. To me, the only reason we lost is because Scott Skiles went off.
Yeah,
he killed us. That was the only reason, because we had me, Butch, and Roy. We had our guys on.
Well, yeah, well, the guys up front, man, you guys did a terrific job. Okay, so who was checking? Who was checking Skiles? Was it Antoine, or was it Gary? Gary was a lockdown guy. Butch, right. I mean, Gary always said lockdown guy, right?
I think that night Gary might have been guarding DJ, and Antoine might have had Scotty.
Yes,
is that it? Yes. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yes.
So let's get Antoine. Let's get Antoine on here and let's blast his ass. Let's just do that next time. That really, game still hurts.
It still bothers us too, man, because I have to live with those Michigan State guys.
I don't know, but Big Ten champ. Now, Butch, I mean, Big Ten champions. That's tough, but it was so hard to get out of that first round. I mean, let's be real. The first year, as in your junior year, you lost to Villanova, Ed Pinckney and McLean brother, and those guys. I mean, those were national champions that went on to win the national title. So no shame in that. And then the next year, you lost to Johnny Orr's Iowa State team. I think Gary was Tompkins on that too. Who are the guys on that team?
Hornacek was on that team.
Hornacek. Okay, he had good dudes, but I mean, was it frustrating for you?
Jeff Greer was on that team.
Yeah, Jeff Greer from Flint. I mean, but when you look back at your 2 years, does the fact you never got out of the first weekend, does that bug you, or you just kind of embrace those Big Ten titles?
Oh, most definitely. No, I relish what we were able to accomplish there. Back-to-back Big Ten champions. We beat a lot of teams. We won a lot of games. But you always want more, we got in that first round, and that junior year, I think one of the obstacles that we had to overcome was that we like to run and gun. We like to get out there and Free said, go have fun and play basketball, which we did really well. But then I think we got into the tournament. I think they took away the shot clock that year, because I think they were playing with the shot clock in the Big Ten, if I remember.
Yep,
and then we got to the tournament.
That's right. You're right.
And they just took the air out of the ball. And I think we played. Farley Dickinson and beat them by a couple of points.
That game was a nightmare. The Friday night game down the state.
And then we played Villanova, and they took the air out of the ball. We wanted, we wanted to get out there and just get up and down. We would have, UNLV before UNLV was UNLV. You know what I mean? And it was frustrating.
Yeah. So let me ask, Rich. I'll start with you. So Bill Frieder, we always heard about Freeds. Great recruiter. I mean, the guy was tireless, driving through Wendy's at 2 a.m. in the morning because he's got, he's chasing down somebody and all this stuff. I mean, what was it about Freeds that made him such a... Why did you come to Michigan, Rich?
Well, Mike Boyd sold me.
Oh, Mike Boyd. Yeah,
Mike Boyd sold me.
Yeah.
And when I got to Michigan, I thought Freeds was really cool because his whole philosophy was, guys, go play. I recruited you to play, so go play. And we all wanted coaches like that. Everybody, now we also know we had to sacrifice, because you got me averaging 30 in high school, Butch averaging 27, 30 in high school. So now you have to share. And when you have to share, you know what? You make sacrifices. And I think because we made those sacrifices is why we won the championships. Because I say we won 3 in a row counting NIT. From my sophomore year to my senior year.
Oh, yeah, champion, and that was when the NIT was a little bit more legit. Okay, Butch, what was the magic word from Bill Frieder or whoever else recruited you that got you to come to Michigan from Boston, Mass? I mean, Boston. It's not like I don't think Michigan gets a lot of players from Boston. How did that happen?
Oh God, there were a couple of things that factored into it. I was looking for an entire program when I was looking at schools, and I took my visit out there. My high school coach was really good. We put athletics, academics, alumni, everything on the board. And, Michigan came out on top of almost every school. And then I took my visit out here, and then I was sold. It was amazing. It was 4 other schools that I was looking at, 3 other in my Final Four, and let's just say Michigan blew them away. Came out here. In fact, if I remember, I think Rich might have been out here the same week, and I took my visit. I think we sat up in the press box and watched the football game together. I knew Rich from back in the day at the basketball camps and things like that. So we were like, you know what? We come here together. We can make things happen.
So were you guys the tightest of your teammates? You two?
Well, you know what? I think you got to throw Roy in there too, because Me and Roy became roommates. Me, Roy, and Butch, we always would eat at Thanos together.
So, down on Liberty, yeah. Frieds would hang out, yeah.
Right, Frieda. And so I think, but then in the end, we all were tight, the whole team, because
yes,
the one thing about it wasn't not one guy on our team that I wouldn't go hang out with. All the way down to the starters, to the guys on the bench, we would hang out with those guys.
Really?
And so I think we had good relationships. I think that made the difference because we had no jealousy on our team.
Yeah. But, I remember going to Thanos. This was 10 years after I was at school down there. I'm going down after a football game, and Frieder's working the cash register.
Yeah.
like he freaking owns it. I mean, what was the deal with him and Thanos?
Well,
what is it about this guy?
Well, you know what? We got to eat there. That was our place to eat.
Oh, that was your
every day. That was a deal that they ground on training table.
Okay, but I mean, I didn't even know how. I mean, he worked the cash register, Butch. I mean, don't you think? I mean, come on. I mean, Freeds was a little quirky, don't you think, Butch? Or no?
Very, but in a good way. Freeds would bring your pizza at the head. You order a pizza, he'd be the one delivering the pizza to you.
Wow. So Butch, I mean, did you agree with Rich that Freeds is kind of like roll the balls out and let you guys get up and down, and there wasn't a lot? I mean, John Beeline, for example, talking to Jordan Poole about this when he was a freshman year, he was overwhelmed by all the regimen. I mean, we had to learn 45 plays off one play and all these things. Did you have that, or was it just kind of like freelance? What was it like, Butch?
Let us play. We had talent. We had players that wanted to get up and down, and he said go out and have fun and play basketball, and that's what we did.
Yeah, that's is that how you coach right now, Butch?
I got a couple of guys that are horses, and we kind of do it the same way. Let's turn up the tempo. Let's go have fun. We're not running the Princeton offense. We got guys that want to get out and have fun.
Yeah, no. So to get our listeners up and the longtime fans of Butch Wade, former Michigan two-time Big Ten champion, like his teammate Rich, where are you at in Florida? What are you teaching, coaching? Give us an update of what you.
I am down in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay,
I love it. It's on the west coast over.
Oh, that's nice.
Just a little bit southwest of Tampa, and I'm at a school called Riverview High School. They've been here, since 2003. So I'm teaching, coaching, and I do a little bit of administrative work when needed.
Wow. So you're giving back. You're giving back as educators are huge on my list. That's
absolutely.
How's your team doing?
We've got a pretty good team. We're 17 and 5 right now and got a game tonight. Last year we went to the regional final and lost. I think we were 22-3. We've got a super freshman and an awesome junior, and then we got some good pieces around them. So yeah, we're doing pretty good.
So I'm in East Lansing. Rich is in Toledo, and we both had, double-digit amounts of snow, 14 inches up here. I don't know what you got, Rich. You miss the snow, Butch, at all from the north, or are you like in Florida? Loaded question.
You know what? Being from Boston, all I got was snow. Then I went to Michigan, and all I got was snow. Then I went over to Europe, all I got was rain and some snow. So being down here, no, I don't miss it. But I tell you what, it got down to about 38 degrees the other day, and people were freaking out down here.
Yeah. Hey, Rich, when you hear that Butch is down in Florida and you're from Riviera Beach, I know that's near and dear to you, your hometown, and what you're doing some great things in that community. Do you miss living in Florida, Rich?
Yes, I do. I'm not gonna tell you.
Another loaded. I'm like an attorney. I never ask a question I don't know the answer.
Yes, I do. Especially when I got up this morning, Tom, and I had 6 inches of snow outside.
Oh no! Don't
miss it. And then, but they got me when they said it was possible that we would get 22 inches. That's what they told us. And I said to myself, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is absolutely crazy. Yeah. Getting to 6, I felt better. Listen, I had a guy blowing my snow off my driveway last night. That's how bad it was.
No.
Wow. Okay, so Butch, I mean, you're too busy to get. Do you ever get up to Ann Arbor in recent times or no?
I haven't. I think the last time I was up there was probably 3-4 years ago when we went up there.
For the reunion, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the last time before that was probably 10 years ago. I did get an invite for this year's reunion. I think it's in February again. You know,
Illinois game, the 26th.
Yeah, it's during our season. It's doing, and it's just tough to make it up at that time. But I'd like to come back in the spring sometime just to see people, visit the campus. Ann Arbor is a great place. Like, in fact, when I left Boston to come to Michigan, and I left Michigan and went overseas, I always came back to Ann Arbor for the summers. I love being there.
Yeah. No, it's hard. I mean, what do you think about the Juwan Howard hire after Beeline, and how is he, from your perspective, connecting with the ex-players? Like, he's an ex-player. I mean, does that make it easier?
It does. It does. I mean, when you come back, Juwan always finds time to talk with you, speak with you, check on you, see how you're doing. And it's just, Michigan became home, and when you go back, it's always a good feeling. In fact, our high school team just played against his son Jet Howard down here at IMG.
Oh, really?
And we played them last week.
How did that go?
That didn't go like planned. They beat us by about 30, but yeah, they're all top D1 players,
Right.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Jet Howard. What do we expect out of Jet Howard, Butch, when he comes up to Ann Arbor?
He's a good, versatile player. He runs the floor. He can score. He's good at finishing. I'm not one to set expectations, but I think he's going to be a hell of a player.
Yeah, they need it. They need Jet Howard right now, Rich. I mean, you've seen Michigan way more than Butch has. You've had more time.
Yes.
What is it? Why is this team struggling so much? I mean, the dribble drive penetration against Michigan State was a little annoying. And then there's no perimeter shooting. I went back in that 18 team just for, to go back to the good old days with Jordan Poole and Duncan Robinson, and all, all these Isaiah Livers. I mean, there's some great shooters. There's no go-to guy on this team. I mean, because Caleb is not getting the job done. Is he just too young, Rich, or what?
I think he's young, just turning 18, and we talked about this before. An 18-year-old playing in the Big Ten.
Yeah, just turned 18. Yeah,
right, just turned 18. And I watched the game the other day against Nebraska. One of the best games I've seen him play. But me and you talk about this all the time. The one thing that we had, me and Butch and them, we had Roy to go to the middle.
Yeah,
and,
nice.
And they have Hunter Dickerson, who I think is an amazing player. And when they go through Hunter, things are easier because he makes good passes.
Yeah.
And when he gets the ball in the paint, he gonna dunk it every time.
Yeah.
But with Houston, listen, I just saw a email of mine that said that he's going to be up for Player of the Year, Houston. And my eyes got really big.
No.
Because I'm thinking,
no,
you better put Hunter Dickinson in there somewhere because Caleb has really just started playing well.
Yeah.
And it's going to take him some time, but we're going to be okay, Tom. Like you said.
It depends on how you define where you're going to be okay. I mean, they got Purdue twice in the span of 5 days,
Well, first of all, that's going to be a test of how good they're going to really be because for me, I think Purdue is the best team in the Big Ten.
Oh, I certainly do as well. And Butch, when you do get it, have you had a chance to see Michigan much at all?
Not a lot at all. No.
But I mean, what you talked about, you really made a good point about coming off a Big Ten champion. You have to, it's hard to repeat. I mean, because you're the hunted as opposed to the hunter.
Absolutely.
And I know you guys navigated that very well. I mean, you were 15-3, I think.
Yes.
your senior year. So I mean, we talk about the Michigan State thing, but I mean, it's today's basketball, Butch. It's a shooter's game now, more than ever.
It is. And like Rich said, if they're struggling from the perimeter, that could be an issue. You got to be able to knock down guys that can catch the ball and make buckets. If you don't have that, then you struggle a little bit.
Yeah. You didn't deal with that 3-point. I mean, I think it was the year after you left that the 3-point thing came in. Not that Butch Wade would be firing in from beyond the arc.
Well, Butch can shoot it, though. He'll shoot it from there.
Can you shoot it, Butch? Can you shoot it from the perimeter?
Every once in a blue moon, I'll let one go. But I tell you what, when we played, the game was a little different. It was a lot more physical.
It was.
That was one of the things that prompted me to go to Michigan. Is like when I started looking at, because I came out of Boston, and when back in 82, 83, the up and coming league was the Big East back then. They were just getting started. And that was the league to go to. But my style of play fit Michigan more. The Big Ten would let you grind and get after it. And that's the thing that Rich and I brought to the table. We held the paint down. Roy was the guy in the middle, but Rich and I were the two bookends. And Rich liked contact. I like contact. And like my man Popovich, Coach Popovich said, you got to have a little nasty in you. And Rich and I both had a lot of nasty in us.
Exactly.
And that's how you win games. You got to have some nasty in you.
Yep.
Yeah. You both had nasty. Rich had a little more hops in you, my Butch. Don't you think a little bit?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I'm not even going to contest that.
Well, before I let you, and I know you got a high school game tonight, and I appreciate you coming on the Crawford Podcasting Network, Butch, with All Rell and Good. We're going to do it again,
Absolutely.
especially when your high school season is done. We'll have more time. Yes. But what was do you got a Richard Rellford story that you could share with us, or does it all have to be PG here, or what is it when he was at Michigan?
I got a whole lot of Rich Rellford stories, but Rich was the guy that set the tone. When we came in, we were quote unquote the original Fab Five.
The original Fab Five with Paul Jokic and Robert Henderson, Roy Tarpley, and you two. And
Rich was probably the most heralded of us all.
Oh, yeah.
And Rich kind of set the tone, So when Rich went in and he would come out and just ball. And Rich was the guy. Rich hated conditioning. He hated conditioning.
Tom, he knows me.
When that ball went up, it was like night and day. He was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And Rich, I can't run this sprint, coach. I can't do that. But when that ball went up, Rich found a new sense of energy. Really? And Rich was the most fierce. There were practices where, there was some blows thrown because that's how fierce and competitive it was. Nobody wanted to lose. And we just got after it. We were, playing, that was old school.
Did he dunk on you ever, Butch?
Rich and I are most of the time on the same team, but I see him dunk on.
So that was a good thing. Yeah.
I've seen Rich dunk on a few people.
Yeah. Oh, I got some footage. I got some photos where I'm going to pull in. It's crazy level. It's like when I talk to Michigan State people about you, Rich, they say, "Oh man, that dude could get up." Yeah. So you had that. You had that reputation.
Well, you know what? It was good because I told you, one thing I loved, man, was always playing against State, and even now with Izzo, and when you talk to him, we had a good time, man. They beat us a couple times.
When I talked to Izzo a couple or a month or so ago, I was telling him about what you and I were doing these podcasts. He says, "Oh, I love that guy. Give him my best to Rich." And so Izzo's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
Not a lot of people at Michigan State I like, but I do like Tom.
True. True.
Yes. Okay, Butch Wade, we really appreciate you being on.
Appreciate you guys, man.
My brother.
We're going to have your brother on here again, Rich. Right? We'll do that. Once your season's over with, after you win the state championship, state of Florida, Butch, we'll have you on to talk about it.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
All right, go Blue to you guys. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, man.
Go Blue, guys.
All right, baby.
All right, man.
Yep.